let me ask you, looking back, this has been a very tough year. That's an understatement. The pandemic is just beginning to define a whole generation. In The New Yorker, Lawrence Wright reports on 3 major moments contributing to this disastrous plague year. And he cites the U.S. team being denied entry to China early on, the failure of the U.S. government to have a testing plan and flawed tests being sent out initially by the CDC, and then the failure to support mask use. In your opinion, did the politicization of science, in addition to all of this, especially on masks, really make this pandemic far worse than it needed to be? We lost lives because of this.
Well, the pandemic emerged from the standpoint of a societal issue at the worst possible time, because anybody who views what's going on throughout the world, but particularly in our own country, there's a great deal of divisiveness in the country. And if there's any situation in which one needs to pull together because we are all in it together, it's when you have an infectious disease outbreak of pandemic proportions. And the divisiveness that has permeated this year, and, it has been striking in that has made it very, very difficult. I mean, what has gone on. If you have the wearing of masks or not turn into a political issue is not helpful when you're trying to implement a public health program. I think that's obvious to anybody that does not help when you have some people feel that an outbreak that is killing people at a record proportion, in which you have a couple of 100,000 new infections a day and 2,000 to 3,000 deaths per day, and there are still people in this country that are saying it's a hoax, or that it doesn't exist, or that it's fake news. That's unimaginable to me, that with all of the death and suffering that's going on right now, that people are blowing it off, saying that it doesn't exist. And yet you go to certain regions of the country, even in areas where the hospitals are being stressed and strained to take care of the people, there still is skepticism as to whether this is real. You're not going to get a good public health response that's unified and consistent when you have that kind of attitude in certain parts of the country. And indeed, we do have that kind of attitude in certain parts of the country.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.